Good morning. Good morning. Good awakening. Okay? Awakening. Because you know what people do when they mourn? They cry. And I'm not saying crying is a bad thing, but at the same time, if you're not sad or nothing is making you want to cry, why do we say good morning? I don't know. Look into it. I'm always overthinking things. This is episode 10. And hopefully, your sleep wasn't too hot or you didn't keep the fan on and make yourself stuffy, because I know we do that in the summertime a lot. I am 35. My life took another trip around the sun, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to be where I am at 35, and I have peace at 35. So, thankful for that. Let's talk about how we can encode things into our brains through repetition. Everybody knows that, or you should know that. And your memory is a muscle that you feed through doing things, through repetition, through talking to yourself a certain way, treating people a certain way, the continuance of doing certain habits a certain way, right? And the more you make real in your life, the more real things become. So, how do you make... Why does your throat do that? Did y'all hear that? How do you make what you're envisioning for yourself or your family or your business or your relationship real? How do you make a thought become proof in reality? And that is the topic. I want to talk about proof of reality. Proof that what you were thinking, dreaming, envisioning can be real. Let's talk about it after these messages. Some people love routine shit, and some people don't. I am those people. I don't like routine stuff. I don't like getting up, putting on my shoes the same way, or always sleeping with these socks, or always wearing this pajamas, or always washing my face a certain way, or always starting my morning like this. Like, I hate that. I hate that, because you don't leave any room for newness to come in, because you're so stuck on things having to be a certain way. And so when I think routine mindsets, I feel like they take you away from your desires that are deep within yourself, because you're so stuck on being a certain way, or you're so stuck on getting other people's dreams or thoughts done, or being on time for what they want you to do, that you never show up for what you want to do. And when it comes to having routines that don't include our desires, it can get very dangerous, to the point where you might spend 5 years doing something for somebody else and forgetting yourself. Or you might spend the last 18 years focusing on raising a child and forgetting yourself and your desires and your wants. And then you wake up one day and you look in the mirror and you don't know who that is. You weren't taking care of your skin. You weren't taking care of your body. You weren't taking care of your hair. You weren't focused on the fact that you've been wearing workout clothes for the last 15 years. You don't know your pant size. You don't know your bra size. You don't know how to dress up for certain events because you haven't dressed up in a very long time. You're kind of lost. And a lot of people allow themselves to get lost within their body because they let other matters in the world take over. And I've talked about this, how having balance in life is super important, because you can take care of everyone else to a point where you forget to take care of yourself. And then you're the one that's left sick, taking care of you and having to do for you. And you're the only one that has you to depend on, and you have nobody. You can't do that. We can't do that. Okay? So don't forget to do your thing. Don't forget to complete your projects. Don't forget to work on your own purpose. We all have to learn how to be intellectually challenging to ourselves. So you should be always learning. You should be always looking for a more efficient way to do something you're already doing. That's the whole idea behind technology. Okay, yes, everybody needs a phone. But how can this phone be better than that phone? How can this phone do everything that someone may need on a daily basis efficiently and effectively, to where they will come in the store and say, I want that phone? That is where our world is going. You go into a lot of major retail stores right now, they are picking machines over people. I haven't seen 15 consistent registers open in a Walmart in over 2 years. There's Walmarts in North Georgia that only have self-checkout. There are no registers of people ringing you up. And so if your only position in the workplace is cashier, you're going to start to limit yourself as far as jobs you can get that are paying you a certain amount of money to make a living as a cashier. So you have to learn something new. You have to learn a new skill. You got to be around what everybody wants, and that's technology. That's why you have so many people trying to get into tech, because they want to be able to afford the life they have or the life they want to live. We can't get complacent in just doing things this way. If there's another efficient, better way to do something, people want to get a bang for their buck. People want to get the most out of their time. So if you're not moving towards a career or a skill that'll help people do that, you're going to lose. Do you have the ability to make your ideas real? And if your ideas will provide you a promising future or your family, then are you truly trying to make that a reality? How do you measure your work? How do you measure the fact that you've been on task for the day, for the things you need to get done? Do you create a to-do list? Do you monitor it? Are you aware of your time? Are you aware of your schedule? Are you aware of where you're needed? Are you prepared? Do you give yourself time to rest? All of this involves making proof of reality of the things that you want. Self-accountability is super important. Self-motivation is super important. Sometimes there's no crew to push you. In order to have a realistic approach to how to get to your goals, You got to be encouraged to make it happen. And sometimes the only person that can encourage you to make that happen is you, or a mentor, or someone famous that you admire, and you study how they got to the level that they got. That's not overnight. The process that's worth doing and getting the results is never overnight. Michael Jordan didn't become who he was overnight. Allen Iverson didn't become who he was overnight. Greatness does not happen overnight. But at some point, you got to break out of the routine that everybody else is doing, because that's just how the way the world works, and do something for you. Compared to the hours that you give someone else at a job, how many hours do you give to yourself to complete the things that you want to do? Are you willing to sacrifice fun time in order to get ahead in an investment-like way for yourself? Sometimes that's going back to school. Sometimes that's doing a coding class at night after work. Sometimes that's moving back in with your parents so you can save up money to buy a house. Sometimes it's not buying a new car right now because you're focused on a bigger purchase, and then you'll buy a car. Sometimes you got to be willing to not be in the mix until you feel like you deserve to be in the mix after what you need to get done is done. It's called self-control. It's called prioritizing. It doesn't make you a boring person. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person that has self-discipline, that has goals. And if there's a friend or a lover or a family that doesn't understand, what do you mean you're not coming to the reunion this year? Everybody's coming. You need to come. If there's something more important for you to be doing, you don't need to go to that family reunion. If there's something more important that needs to get done, you don't need to go on that girls' trip. Don't let people guilt you into doing things that's going to bring them comfort and they don't care about your peace. Good friends don't guilt other friends into doing things for them, to them, or just the benefit of them. They're not. If there's something that a friend wants, and I know me not being comfortable or me not being prepared is not going to fulfill the vision that they think they have, that they want to include me in, I'm going to voice that. I'm not going to give them this illusion that this is going to happen. And the more we become honest with the people that we say we care about, the better things are going to be. You can't sit there and think you're going to have the best relationships because you're always going to agree. You're not. Don't be afraid to write your ideas down. You don't have to tell the world your ideas, but don't be afraid to write your ideas down and see it on paper. Don't be afraid to write your ideas and post it up on like a pushpin board or a vision board. Don't be afraid to reach. Make small steps. If what you're thinking feels too big or feels too heavy to carry, make small steps. Make a vision board. Put your focus in plain sight. And stop leaving your ideas in your head. Stop leaving your ideas or little pieces of the dream you keep having for the third week in your head. We are not just our father and our mother's child. We stem from a long ancestry of people who were creators, inventors, readers, writers, people that did crazy, beautiful, magical things with their hands from generations passed down. And if you don't believe your talents and your ideas and your willpower and your confidence and your endurance to get things done stems from someone over 400 years ago, you are a fool. Your mindset didn't happen overnight. You are not your mother. You are not your father. You are many people. Shout out to Jamaica. So understand that, and understand that anything you think can become reality. Anything you believe can become reality, but it's going to take consistency, practice, and work. You can make your thoughts have proof in reality, but you have to be willing to show up and do what needs to be done. You have to be able to be consistent. It is 2:52 a.m. right now. I could be asleep. I could be on my third rollover in bed. But I want to get my thoughts out to you, because there's someone out here that's listening right now that is like, man, she talking to me. She talking to me. She talking to me. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to us. Make your thoughts have proof in reality. Get up. Get through your day. Give back to yourself today. Do something nice for somebody else. And push yourself today. You don't need someone with you in the gym in order to push yourself today. You don't need someone at your job in order to push yourself today. You don't need someone to carry all the load that you have in life, because you're going to push yourself today. And if you got to cry through it, cry through it. And if you got to, talk to yourself, talk to yourself. But be honest about your process. Catch you next time.